Hello everyone, welcome to Easy Career Growth. In this channel we try to break down manual tasks into something that's very easy to be understood. In this video we're going to talk a little bit about should you stay on the same job for 30 years or should you get out of it. There's pros and cons of each one, so let's jump in because I know some people say, hey, you got a good job, stay on there, why move? And other people saying, why do you stay on the same job for that long? Why don't you get out? Maybe you can make more money somewhere else. Don't get too comfortable. So in this video, we're gonna jump into the pros and cons of staying on a job for 30 years. Let's jump into it. You know, some people, it's a difference between staying in the same job for 30 years versus staying with the same company for 30 years. So if you stay with the same company for 30 years and you've progressed your career and you've gone from, you know, this level to this level to this level over the years, then there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's probably good progress. What I'm talking about, should you stay on the same job, should you stay in the same position, you know, you've been the senior finance manager for the last 20 years. Is that good for you to do that from a career perspective? You know, that's good things. Look, you know the system, you're very comfortable, you may be well liked, but from a growth perspective, that may not be the proper thing. Let's dig into that a little bit to understand that there are pros and cons of both ways. So the key thing is, you know, maybe you have job security. You know, job security because you've been there so long, you know all the bosses, you know the system. You might have that knowledge of the company that, you know, most people don't have because you've been there 15, 20, 30 years where a lot of other people come and gone. So you've probably seen a lot of things happen. You have a lot of history. You've seen things, especially if you're like in the IT department, you've seen things break down. So you have that knowledge, you know the system, you know the pedigrees, you know all that stuff. So that might be very valuable. So that might be something where you might have, just because you've been there so long, you build in a, you know, source of job security. So that might be very important for you. On the other hand, you know, if you stay in a certain job for, let's say, 15, 20 years, you haven't grown any, and now you get laid off, and now you go back onto the job market, and they'll say, what have you done over the last 20 years? And your resume is kind of small because you've just done the same thing over and over and over. There might be some risk in that, so you might want to consider your options. Number two, you might have developed strong relationships just because you've been there so long. So again, you might have, you know, friends that because you've worked together in the same job for so long, maybe you go to the same church or your kids have grown up together. So it's just easy. You know each other. This person's got your back. I got that person back. It's just easier because you know everybody there and you don't want to go to a new job. You got to cut teeth again. Got to get to know everybody. Everybody knows you. So that's something that's valuable. It's worth something. But maybe sometimes you can meet new people if you change jobs. Maybe you can learn new skills. Maybe you can open up new networks if you change jobs. Not saying either one of them's bad, but there you have it. All right, let's keep going. You know, some jobs offer loyalty. You know, they give you loyalty. They give you bonuses. They give you things like you've been on the job 20 years. You know, they might give you a pin or they might bring you up in front of the whole team. Some people respect people that have been on the job that's been very loyal to the company. Now, if you're involved in a company that does that, it's a great thing, fantastic thing, because, you know, that's just easy. It's easy for you, easy for everybody. So, you know, take advantage of that. But there are other companies out there who don't care they don't care a hoot. If you've been there 1 year or 20 years, they just don't care. And that's normally not a company, that's normally, you know, manager or the culture. You know, some people in another division could care a lot, and some other places, some other division may not care. It comes down to individuals sometimes. But you can look at the culture. If you understand the culture of the company, you know, longevity, they respect because you stay there. They respect because you've gone through the ups and downs of the company. That's a good thing. I would say, yeah, absolutely stay there because you got some respect that's built in. So there's pros and cons there also. Potential burnout. Right? If you stay in the same job for a long period of time, you might get burnt out. You might get, you know, just a little sad or a little, just by doing the same thing, you get bored, you know. So you get burnt out. If you go to a new job, you know, internal or external, you get a new job, you get a new task, you get something fresh, might get that energy going again. It might get some excitement going again. So it might be something you want to do just to mix it up a little bit, you know. You know, change is good sometimes. I said it, change is good sometimes. It brings out the best in you. Okay, career limitations, right? If you stay in the same company, you might get to a point where no one's moving because everybody's happy, and so you might be stuck in a certain position for 3 or 4 years waiting for someone else to get promoted, or waiting for them to retire or move on or something like that. So you might be stuck. Where if you change companies, you might be able to get that promotion or that jump right away. So that's a benefit for leaving and doing something fresh. You know, you can climb that ladder a whole lot quicker. There's risks associated with jumping ship, but a whole lot of positive things about jumping ship also. So if you're trying to get to that next level, you have some career goals in mind, and you can't get it where you are, you might need to think about changing jobs. There you go. Ready for another one? Here we go. If you've been there 30 years and somebody else comes in, like a new boss, they might think you're a bit outdated because look, they're looking for people who learn the latest and greatest software. I'm not trying to look at age, I'm just looking at what have you done. So if the company hasn't updated all of their software, a new guy comes